transition, though, we've got our college football highlight. This week we were talking about the Toledo Rockets. Toledo has, I think, one of the simple logos, but I like their logo overall. You can see it a little bit. I'm going to remove Jordan for a second. See, I just like how that simple Toledo logo is. I've always been a fan of their logo. Initial thoughts, Jordan, because Toledo also a damn good team out of the MAC. Any thoughts on Toledo before I start sharing some of their information?
No, they've done well the last 2 to 3 seasons, Douglas. So I think they were kind of hit by the transfer portal like many other MAC teams were, and that kind of goes back to my thought. With the way the NIL works now and the transfer portal, you go to a MAC. Not taking anything away from the MAC. Big Ben Roethlisberger from right here from Miami of Ohio, and so many other players came from the MAC. The Browns had a quarterback from the MAC for a little bit. His name
Charlie Fry.
Charlie Fry. I was there for his first start, Douglas. I was there for his first start when he hooked up with Braylon Edwards for 3 touchdowns. But that was a sight to behold.
What a rewind!
It was. But Toledo, they've been doing good. They've retained some players, but the transfer portal kind of hurt them. But I think they're going to finish probably second in the MAC, Douglas. That's my prediction. But I'm going to let you hit us with the stone cold facts.
Okay, Jordan, let's talk Toledo. Their stadium is the Glass Bowl. It holds over 26,000 people. So it is a massive, or not a massive, it is a small stadium. Jason Candle is the head coach. He's been there for 7 years. He is 65-35. They have won 20 games in their last 3 years. So they are playing good football. Their rival is Bowling Green. We will definitely talk about Bowling Green soon. They are projected to finish second in the MAC. Jordan, last episode we talked about the Miami Redhawks. They are going to be 1-2 in the MAC. They're going to be battling all season. They are also projected to finish 7-5, just like Miami. So it's going to be a war in the MAC this year. It's very exciting. And then the recruiting class, Jordan, they have the 66th rated recruiting class. They're 23 commits. They have the 114th rated transfer portal class with only 7 commits. They did lose their quarterback, Daquan Finn, to Baylor. That is a big loss, losing a guy as talented as he was. But they do bring in Tucker Gleason, who was there last year, who will probably take over. He also played at Georgia Tech for a while. They've got some damn good football players. They did lose some to the portal. That does happen a lot. The MAC, you play good the MAC, you're definitely going to move to a Power 5, and you're definitely going to get a good scholarship. So, I feel like that is kind of the goal. At the MAC, you're not going to win a national championship, but if you can win your conference and send a couple guys to the next level of college football, I do think that's a success. So I don't want to take that away from anybody. But Jerwan Newton and Junior Vandeross III combined for 13 TDs last year and over 1,300 yards. Those guys are both back. They are going to be massive targets for Gleason this season. Maxon Hooks, 69 total tackles, 4 passes deflected, 3 interceptions. That guy's an all-league type safety. And then their big defensive tackle, Darius Alexander, 36 tackles last year, 4 sacks, 3 passes deflected, a big body who eats up on the line, another one of their top players. The big concern, Jordan, when I was doing my research on Toledo, is they lost all 5 starters on the offensive line. And from playing football and being around football, the offensive line is a massive, massive cog to your entire situation. So that's, read some comments from the coach. He is a little bit worried about the offensive line. But again, Toledo has talent at the weapons. It has a solid running back. It does return 4 really good players on defense. So I think they're going to be competitive. Plus 7 transfers that'll probably play earlier than maybe they would at the school they're coming from. Thoughts on Toledo, Jordan?
You kind of hit the nail on the head. Defensively and offensively with the weapons, they're pretty sound. It's just, can they replace the beef on offensive line and the experience in a short amount of time for that big turnaround? They are in the MAC, so we're not playing Ohio State every day, so it's doable. I haven't got a chance to look at the bottom half of their schedule. I know it's more interleague play, but I'm kind of interested in
pulling it up right now.
Gotcha. I think that their coach has been there for 7 years. Any coach that kind of hits that 5 year time frame, and you know this, Douglas, from the coaching world and being in sports, that means you have consistency. That means you have finally built your roster, and the organization trusts you. So I think he's going to do his due diligence, whether it be via transfer portal or just right at home here, and they're gonna make do with the best line. They do have a phenomenal running back. I think he was top
Yep.
5 in the MAC last year for scrimmage yards, all-purpose yards. So I think moving forward they're gonna be okay. But losing their quarterback hurts, but they got a guy that's kind of seen the system already. So Douglas, I think they're going to finish that 1-2 punch that we were talking about at the beginning of the segment.
So yeah, Jordan, let's look at a little bit closer at their schedule. They got the Duquesne Dukes. That's a win. UMass, that's a win. At Mississippi State, that's a good scheduled game for them. I mean, they probably don't win that game, but if you can go down there and at least keep it within a couple scores of Mississippi State, that's a solid game. Western Kentucky, that is probably going to be a win. Miami of Ohio, that's going to be a big game in the MAC. That's going to be a must-see type game. I'm sure that'll be on probably Friday night type game on ESPN, one of those type. At Buffalo, at Northern Illinois, they got the rivalry game against Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan, the Ohio Bobcats, Akron Zips. So that's 2 wins to probably close out the year right there, and then potentially heading to the MAC championship. Not a terribly hateful schedule. I do like the fact that they went out and scheduled Mississippi State. When you come into those games and you go to the SEC, you're just, it's more of a measuring stick. Hey, how do we measure up with these guys? Can we be competitive with these guys? And that helps you so much when you go out and play in the MAC. That's what we talked about with Miami. They have got Notre Dame on their schedule. They've got a couple of really strong non-conference games. I believe Northwestern to kick off the year. I like that the MAC teams are going. I like that the MAC teams are going out and making these big scheduling decisions and putting their teams in better situations. If everybody can stay healthy and continue to get better off of those games.
Well, especially in the NIL day and age, the money they get traveling to these bigger schools is going to be, and it's for the transfer portal reasons. That's going to be great for them moving forward. So, look for smaller teams to, get these big programs on the schedule to help them moving forward, because the money they make from that game is the players are going to bring in that next year. So it's kind of a win all the way around. It gives them a measuring stick, and it gives them, publicity and that big camera, whether it's ESPN Plus, ESPN, or just kind of a highlight on Fox. And then they get to bag the money and, go around and get some better talent next year.
Well said, buddy. Well said, because that NIL money definitely matters. And if you can get some extra money and maybe keep around a guy that you might think goes to a Power 5 school. But that Toledo versus Miami game is going to be one of the best games in the MAC. So we definitely have that one circled, and we'll definitely talk about that again when that comes up. But Jordan, that is the Toledo Rockets projected to finish second to really contend for that MAC championship this year with Miami of Ohio. So that is exciting. We will be back Monday with another college football spotlight.